I brought a story this week that this story was a cute little story that Rabbi Nachman told his daughter, Adele. And it said, I learned that it said, because he used to tell stories to his daughter, that his Hasidim used to come and they would, איך אומרים להתייעץ? I'm going to figure out the word soon. Okay, and they would ask her questions, and it would be important for them to hear what she has to say, because she knew a lot of his Torah. She was really a part of this Torah of Rabbi Nachman in his home. Okay, wait a minute. 1 second, I'm just trying to figure out. ברח לי המילה, בקי, את לא זוכרת?
בוקר, תעשו את זה בלילה, תעשו את זה בבית קפה, תעשו את זה בפארק.
אני לא שומעת אותך, בקי.
You could say seek advice, but that's not what you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm looking for the word להתייעץ.
No, חבר'ה, come on.
Counsel? Would you say counsel? I don't know if that's the right word. טוב, לא משנה. We won't waste our time on the words, as long as you understand my meaning. Okay? Okay. So this story, this cute little story, Rabbi Nachman was telling his daughter. It's a bit of an extreme, so let's try to look out for the points that Rabbi Nachman is trying to make with his daughter. What does he want her to understand? What does he want her to learn? Okay, so let's read the story in Hebrew and then we'll translate it to English and נתחיל להתקדם. Okay? פעם אחת סיפר רבנו, זכר צדיק קדוש לברכה, לביתו אדל. And now the story begins. ממפורסם אחד, מפורסם is a famous person, okay? ממפורסם אחד, כי 9 שנים היה מתפלל בהתלהבות מאוד. יען שהחתול גירדה והקישה אצל הדלת. ונדמה לו שהחסידים דוחפים את עצמם אל הדלת. ואחר כך נודע לו שהוא חתול. נמצא שהיה מתפלל לשם החתול רחמנא ליצלן. Okay. Now in English, okay? Once there was this famous guy that for 9 years he used to daven enthusiastically, with a lot of passion, okay? He had a tefillah mamash of ההידבקות בקדוש ברוך הוא. And Rabbi Nachman tells us, why was he davening like that? Why did he have such a great tefillah? יען שהחתול גירדה והקישה אצל הדלת, ונדמה לו שהחסידים דוחפים את עצמם אל הדלת. When he was davening in his room, he heard noises on the other side of his door. And the noises were people, were his Hasidim, that wanted to come and hear him pray and daven, and how much dvikut he had in his davening. And of course, this egged him on. This is the energy that motivated him for 9 years to daven with a lot of passion and enthusiasm. What happened that dafka after 9 years he decided to finally open up the door is an interesting question. It doesn't say over here. But what happens when he opens up the door to reality, to the real world? What does he see? He sees that there's a cat. A cat that's מגרדת את עצמה. מגרדת את עצמה is that she's scratching herself on the door. Okay? And he thought that these were his Hasidim making the noise, that they were pushing each other in order to put their ear on the door to hear his davening. Okay? And then Rabbi Nachman finishes with a very irritating sentence. He says, נמצא שהיה מתפלל לשם החתול רחמנא ליצלן. What does this mean? He says, you know why he was davening? He was davening for the cat. Okay? רחמנא ליצלן is לא עלינו. It's such a bad thing happened to this guy that he was davening because of this cat or for the cat. Okay, in order to please the cat. But of course, he wasn't davening in order to please the cat. But the cat, what did the cat cause him to think?
All kinds of high feelings, ההתלהבות, that you know, what's it called? לא לשמה בא לשמה. In other words, he may have thought that it was because of, of the Hasidim, but his lavut was there anyway. It's the same thing, like when you do a mitzvah, shelo b'chavana, you're still yotze because the mitzvah was done. A woman who jumps into the mikveh and really didn't want to go there, but she yatsa yedei chova because even though she had no kavanah, she still jumped in.
Nachon. So we'll talk about that. But first of all, let's try to understand the first part of the story. Why was he davening? First of all, it's very interesting to ask, בכלל, why is he called מפורסם? מעשה ממפורסם שהתפלל לחתול. And if you remember, every time Rabbi Nachman chooses a character for his story, his name, his description, we had names and descriptions, and I guess that's it, maybe verbs like over here. זה מאוד מכוון. He chooses them carefully. And he could have called him a chassid, right? Why does he call him מפורסם? Does someone want to try to offer an answer?
Yeah. First of all, I don't agree with what Becky said, and my not agreeing sort of answers your question now too.
Okay.
He had ulterior motives. He was doing whatever it was he was doing, not for true honest reasons, but for something about fulfilling himself, his own ego. I think there was an ego issue here, it sounds like to me. And so people who are famous, not always, you can't say always, but sometimes they're famous because their ego requires them to be.
Okay, מצוין. So first of all, we understand that we can say that not the cat is what really caused Rabbi Nachman to daven. June says ego, but I want to לברר את זה. What ego זה שם כללי. It's a very big word, right? Ego זה כוללני מאוד. What exactly did he want this מפורסם? What was his motive?
That his students should hear him.
Yeah, his motive was to be מפורסם, was to be famous. That's why Rabbi Nachman calls him מעשה ממפורסם. This person wanted to be famous for his tefillot, for his dvekut in the tefillah. Okay, he wanted to be famous. So he's not really davening because of the cat, right? The cat causes him, the cat motivates his ego to be famous. Because when he hears the cat, he doesn't know it's a cat. He thinks it's his Hasidim. And he's not davening like that in order to teach his Hasidim how to daven. He's davening like that because he wants to be famous. That's why Rabbi Nachman chose this Shem To'ar for him. This adjective, you say? Right? The adjective?
Description, right, yeah.
Description for his character over here. Okay? And when we say ego, we're not talking about the whole ego. We're talking about one small part of the ego, which is to be famous. Why does a person want to be famous? What would you think? Why does our ego want us to be famous? What does it mean to be famous? What does it give us?
You need attention, I think.
What else? תזרקו עוד מילים. אתי, לא שמעתי?
That it makes you feel good.
It makes you feel good. What else?
Important, makes you feel important.
Important. מה עוד? למה בן אדם ירצה להיות מפורסם? מה יוצא לו מזה? Do you want to suggest something, June?
I was just going to say maybe so that you won't be forgotten.
Maybe that you won't be forgotten, or maybe we can say in a positive way, לקבל אישור, to get not permission, why? ברח לי המילה. To be accepted, to have a place in the world, okay? When I'm famous, everyone is going to say, you are okay the way you are. We accept you. We have room for you in the world. You have meaning in the world, okay? בעברית אנחנו אומרים אישור, מאשררים אותנו. Are you familiar with that word? I'm going to try to look it up meanwhile in Molfix, but he just
תעשו את זה
makes a
בחוץ,
lot of noise
תעשו
over
את זה
here.
בחדר.
You know what, I'll just put it
תעשו
very
את זה
low.
באוטובוס.
Okay, soon he's going to finish the pirsomet, and I'll check it, how he says ishor. Okay, so a lot of times people are looking לקבל אישור על מי שהם. Okay, that they are accepted as they are.
That's validation. Shira, that's validation.
Validation, נכון, thank you very much. Validation is the word I was looking for. Thank you, Becky. Okay, he's looking to be validated, because if I'm not validated, if I'm not accepted in this world, if I have no tafkid, I have no goal in this world, so why am I here? Who wants me here? And that's a very bad thought with a lot of bad feelings around it. מה צריך אותי פה בעולם הזה? Okay? So it's very interesting to see that בעצם under every act, any activity that we act in this world, it always comes from something very deep inside.
This is a very insecure person.
נכון, לגמרי. Very insecure. Soon we'll see it with the cat, okay? Maybe I'll say it already now. A cat, when she feels insecure, what does she do? Rabbi Nachman chose a cat. Why didn't he choose a dog? A rat? למה דווקא חתולה? Why did he choose דווקא a cat to be on the other side? We see that when Rabbi Nachman chooses his characters, his animals, like the bird from last week, right? He chooses it very carefully. יש שם מסר עמוק בשבילנו. He has something there for us. And a cat, okay? How does a cat behave when she's afraid, when she feels insecure?
She runs. My cat runs.
Before she runs, you know what she does? She
Right.
makes herself very big. She makes herself look as if she's a big animal, and she picks up her tail up high, and her back mikumar. I don't know how you say that in English.
Arches.
Arches.
She arches. Thank you. I knew that word. She arches her back. Why? In order to look big, so she'll frighten away the animal or person that's insecuring her. Okay? Very interesting that we know that Rabbi Yochanan says, אילולא ניתנה תורה, מה היינו למדים צניעות מהחתול. נכון? גזל מנמלה והאריות מיונה. If we wouldn't receive the Torah, if Hashem wouldn't give us the Torah, we wouldn't receive it, where would we learn about being tsanua? Dafka from the cat. Okay? The cat is a very tsanua animal. And this cat over here that is a tsanua animal is not being able to teach our mefursam on the other side of the door, the famous person on the other side, to be tsanua. The cat makes herself big when she's insecure, and he's also trying to make himself big by making these tefillot, by davening in such a way. As a מאוד מעניין, it's very interesting, the relation, well, there's no relationship, but the relation, היחס between the cat and our mefursam. Okay? Okay, so I was going to say something else before I went back to the cat, that actually when you come to think about it in psychology and in coaching, every activity that we do, it's not b'mikre, it's not by chance. It always comes from a very inner place in our neshama, in our nefesh. Okay, and usually we say that there are 7 different pchadim, fears, different fears that we have, and the fears, they are our the trigger. That's what they start our behavior. Just like we saw with the mefursam. Why does a person need to be famous? And it can branch off to different similar places. But at the bottom of the line, we're going to always find that he has a fear to be forgotten, like you said, a fear that he's not needed in this world, a fear that no one realizes who this person and personality is in this world. Okay? When people eat healthy, you ask them, why are you eating healthy? Go have a pizza. Why do you need to eat a cut of salad, a green salad, or this, or that? It's going to, probably when you eat healthy, it's going to break down to keep myself healthy because I'm afraid of getting sick. And if you're afraid of getting sick, we call it in Hebrew, pachad michidalon. We're afraid of dying. Okay? When you try to make friends and you're inside a relationship, we see it a lot with bachelors and bachelors. How do you say that? Ravakim v'ravakot.
Bachelorette.
Bachelorettes. Thank you. That they try to make a good impression on the other side. So they do different things in order to make an impression. Why do they want to make a good impression? Because they don't want to stay alone. Why don't they want to stay alone? Because they're afraid of שלא יהיה להם המשכיות בעולם. כלומר, everything that we do, if you dig deep down, we're going to always find at the bottom of it, we're going to find these whatever, 6 or 7 different fears, okay? והם שותפים לכל העולם, דרך אגב. We all have the same fears, okay? אבל יש כאלה קצת פחות, קצת יותר, אבל basically they're all the same, okay? Okay, so Rabbi Nachman ends his mashal by saying that ומצא שהתפלל לחתול רחמנא ליצלן, okay? That he's actually making fun. He's making it, you can say, I don't know, nil'ag, he's making a joke out of it, okay? That this guy actually davened for a cat.
Mock.
He's mocking him. נכון, he's mocking him. And I think Rabbi Nachman wants to tell us, or at least tell Adele, that we all have different voices within ourselves that are, that are guiding our behavior. We're not always really listening to our inner self in order to do what's right for me, what's meduyak for me, what's special for me, okay, what feels for me to do right. We're not always able to stick with our very, very inner self-truth. A lot of times we have different voices that we hear in our world that guide us off the path and go to different places. We were all born with a voice that's called, we can say maybe a healing voice. Okay, in Hebrew it's called a kol hamerapeh. And I want to say I want to say a few things about that, okay? We're all born with the voice a kol hamerapeh. מה זה הקול המרפא? What is the healing voice that we're born with? Every person that comes into this world has the healing voice. The healing voice is the voice of the baby that he hears from inside himself. When he laughs, when he cries, when he's sad, when he's happy, when he has to overcome pain, when he starts walking or when he starts turning over and he bangs his head. We all know the babies with the bruises all over their bald heads when they start walking and they hit themselves. A normal person, kivyachol, if he wouldn't have this healing voice inside him, he would stop trying because he's getting all beaten up. What motivates him? What gives him the energy to try again and again and again? What is that energy? The voice that he hears within himself. The voice that tells him you can do it, try again, lo nora, okay? The bump will go away, don't worry about it. You want to know how to walk, you want to know how to crawl, you'll get it, okay? The baby hears inside himself this voice. But the baby's voice is not the only voice that he hears, because the baby is surrounded, first of all, by his parents, okay? And later in his life, he's surrounded by his siblings, by his friends, gan, teachers, and so on and so on. אבל עוד מעט נגיע לזה, okay? The parents are a משענת for him. The parents are there to hold and to secure him, to secure the baby, right? And he's very much dependent on them. And maybe we can say also that the parents are an expression or idiom, do you say? For his inner voice. Did I say it right?
Idiom, but that's not the right word. Oh. It's not the right word.
So expression, can we use the word expression? The parents are the expression of his inner voice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Support.
What?
Support for the inner voice?
Yeah, they support his inner voice. And the baby sees his voice on his parents.
Personification, that's the word, but.
That's a word that I wouldn't know in a million.
Right. Okay.
I'm sorry. It's not in my English books.
I'm sorry.
I'm not going to even say I'm going to remember it. It's too long. Persona, what?
Personification.
Education.
Or if you want to shorten it,
It
personifies.
personifies.
Okay, I'll try, אבל בטוח שאני לא אזכור, אבל אני אנסה. Personifies. Okay, so the parents, okay, around this little baby personifies
Correct.
what he is hearing in himself. So if his parents are supporting him and they're motivating him and they're hugging him ומעודדים ומצמיחים ומחבקים and all these nice good words, so what happens to the healing voice inside the baby? It grows stronger and stronger, and he can hear very well, and he can identify what is his voice, what is someone else's voice. He gets used to listening to this voice. זה ממש מרגיל אותו להשתמש בכוח הזה. Okay? But what happens when לא עלינו, this baby is surrounded by parents that, אני באמת לא ממקום שיפוטי, but for all kinds of different reasons, they aren't able to support the baby. And they tell him, no, don't do that, that's dangerous. No, you're gonna hurt yourself. No, you're not old enough. No, this is not for you. No, move away. Or when they make a big drama every time he falls and whatever happens. So what does the baby understand? What happens to the baby's voice? What does he see on his parents that are personifying his voice?
He gets a mixed
the
message.
voice within him.
He gets a mixed message.
It's more than a mixed message. It turns
It denies his own voice.
It denies his voice. They even use, בספרות המקצועית, they use the words, it poisons the voice, it kills the voice.
It suppresses
shrinks it up till it's all shrink-dink, שלא רואים ולא שומעים אותו בכלל. It's still in there, so we'll talk about that. But when he is surrounded by his parents or by society, I don't know where he's growing up, that they are not smart enough to לחזק ולעודד ולהצמיח את הקול הזה, to strengthen the voice, then אין כזה דבר that the voice just hangs in the air and stays there. It shrinks, it's muted. He can't hear the voice anymore. Okay?
result of low self-esteem.
And of course, and that's my next sentence. Of course, that this turns him into a person with a very low self-esteem, because our baby grows up. He grows up to be a mitbager, a teenager, and an adult. And if he's used to hearing his voice, his healing voice, then it helps him go through life. It helps him physically, emotionally, spiritually. It helps him connect to the real self that he can hear within himself. What's right for me? What's wrong for me? It helps him figure out who he is, and it builds a very strong self-esteem. And when our little baby that has parents that personifies in a very negative way, okay, so then it shrinkles and it gets very small, this healing voice, until it's buried and he doesn't know where it is. Okay?
Shira, that was the whole generation of after the Shoah. כל ההורים שהיו הורים אחרי השואה.
אני לא שומעת אותך.
לא שומעת.
You're muted. Okay, מה את אומרת שאחרי השואה, מה?
I said, הורים שהיו הורים אחרי השואה, זה בדיוק היה האווירה שמה. שהם פחדו מכל דבר ודבר, והם הפחידו את הילדים, והם באמת גדלו ככה.
אז אני רוצה להגיד שהבשורה הטובה, the good message over here that we have, is that the healing voice doesn't disappear and it doesn't disintegrate, נכון? להתמוסס. It's still there. עד שיבוא הגואל, until the Mashiach comes. What is the Mashiach for each and every one of us? The ability to go through a process where we are going to start to seek different thoughts that are blocking my inner voice. אוקיי? אני אגיד את זה רגע בעברית, אם לא אמרתי את זה מספיק ברור באנגלית. אנחנו עוברים תהליך שאנחנו מבררים את המחשבות שחוסמות לי את הקול הפנימי הזה, שלא מאפשרות לי לשמוע מה אני רוצה, מה אני חושב, מה נכון לי, Okay? June and May, are you with me?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Okay, so let's try to say it in English. I'll need your help. The way to recover, okay, and maybe to inspire my healing voice from inside to wake up and so I'll be able to hear it. I have to like clean off all the dirt that is sitting and blocking my inner voice, my healing voice. What is really blocking this inner voice? All my different thoughts and what I heard during my life. Only whoever is very smart can get a good job in life. Only whoever has a very good job will get married. Okay? Only a good-looking girl will find a husband. Only a tall girl means a girl that she has meaning in life. Okay? These are all different things that I heard all here and about and around. Okay? These are different thoughts that are blocking me. I can't really hear my inner side. But even though she's a short girl, she's a very good and she's very smart and she's inspiring and she has a lot of meaning in her life. But he's not able to see it. He's not able to hear this voice inside him because he has different voices that are telling him off. Okay? אז זה תהליך שאנחנו עושים עם עצמנו כל החיים. This is a process that we do during our lifespan, always trying to clean out the different thoughts that are blocking us from connecting inside. Okay? May, was that?
Yeah, perfect, thank you.
Okay. טוב, אז בואו נמשיך הלאה. Okay, let's go to the next question that Becky started talking before. What is Rabbi Nachman basically saying over here? Because the famous person was davening and praying with such enthusiasm and passion for 9 years. 9 years he's davening. What, his davening is worthless? What happens to the mitzvah that doesn't have its context? How do you say kavanah?
Intent.
Intent.
What?
Intent.
Intention? Meaning?
Intent.
Okay. What happens to a mitzvah that is disconnected or that just doesn't have a meaning or intent? Is the mitzvah, does it go to the garbage? Does someone count it? Rabbi Nachman, we can see, is really emphasizing that the mitzvah has to be connected to its intention, to its meaning. Okay, but we all do things a little bit offhand. You make a bracha on the water and you drink it. How often do we find ourselves saying to ourselves, wait 1 second, I really want to make a bracha on the water and להתכוונן אל הברכה and to connect. זה לא קורה לנו הרבה. Maybe we can say that most of the mitzvot that we do during the day, we're not so connected to the inner meaning of them. So are they useless? So just like Becky said before, the mitzvah is still a mitzvah and you're yotzei yodei chova if you do the mitzvah. But over here, I want to open up something that's a new learning that I don't think we spoke about it. And also, I don't think I brought up Dessler, so soon we'll read what he says. But first, I want to say that it's nifsak la'alacha, that a mitzvah that you do, even though it doesn't have kavanah, even though it doesn't have, if you're not connected to its meaning, זה יצא ידי חובה. In our sidurim, even in Nusach Sfard and Ashkenaz, you can see that before Baruch She'amar, it says, לשם ייחוד קודשא ובריחו שכנתי על ידי יהוד תמיר ונעלם בשם כל ישראל. מה המטרה? Why did they put it in the Siddur? Before we start the Psukei de Zimra, we're connecting the inner meaning of the mitzvah with the mitzvah itself. I think already a few times I quoted Rav Soloveitchik that he says that doing a mitzvah without intent, without connecting to the meaning, זה כמו גוף בלי נשמה, עד כדי כך. Okay? So let's look in your daf mekorot under the story. I brought here a tzitut from. What?
Oh, sorry. Even if you do a mitzvah sort of automatically, it counts as a mitzvah?
Yeah, זה יצאת ידי חובת המצווה. Okay, but now we're going to look into it and we'll see really what it means. Okay, let's read it together. Okay, נפסק להלכה שגם אם אין כוונה, יצא ידי חובה. לעתים, are you all with me over there? Okay, and on the page and the second makor, I think I forgot to put in numbers. Okay, so the second paragraph after the story. לעתים ישנה כוונה רדומה. רדום means numb. There's a numb meaning, a numb intent. Okay? וגם היא מספיקה בדיעבד. Now he's going to explain to us what does it mean, a numb intent for the mitzvah. Okay? לדוגמה, for instance, אדם שבא לבית הכנסת להתפלל, a person that came to shul to daven, ובסדר תפילתו קרא את שמה, and during his davening he says קריאת שמה, אף על פי שלא התכוון במפורש לקיים את מצוות קריאת שמה, even though he didn't think about the meanings of קבלת עול מלכות שמיים and קריאת שמה during the time that he was davening, יצא ידי חובתו. Why? מפני שאם נשאל אותו, because if we'll ask him, מדוע קראת את פרשיית שמה? Why did you read the פרשייה בשמה? What is he going to say? יענה, כדי לקיים את המצווה, because I wanted to do the מצווה. נמצא שהייתה בקריאתו כוונה רדומה. This is what we call a numb intention, a numb meaning in the mitzvah. Even though he wasn't aiming for the meaning, but because he came in order to do the mitzvah, זה כבר נחשב לו. Okay? הרב מלמד, he wrote a very big סדרה, it's called פניני הלכה, for whoever is familiar, and he got everything together, וכל הציבור שלנו ממש הולך אחריו. אוקיי? אין מישהו שלא הולך בציבור שלנו אחרי הרב מלמד, הוא ממש מקובל על כולם.
He lives in Harafa.
כן. Now, let's read...
Can you translate? What did you just say?
I said that he's a rabbi from Har Bracha, Becky said, and everyone goes after him. You'll see that all the different yeshivot, they all have his books, and they teach from it. Umekubal al kulam. He's accepted upon our whole, upon all the team.
He's also translated into English.
Yeah. Wow.
I was going to
I
say,
don't know all.
I was going to say the issue is not just that you say it mechanically and you don't connect, but there are people who actually don't understand the words that they're saying, but they have to show up anyway. And the result is the same.
So now let's read what Rav Dessler says about it. I just want to say a few words about Rav Dessler. I wrote on your paper, you can see, Rav Dessler, his name, he has a book, a very famous book. It's a set of a few books together called מכתב מאליהו, הרב אליהו Eliezer Dessler, who was born in 1892 and he died here in Israel in 1953. I think he was a chief rabbi in London. He was a manig of Yeshivat Ponovich, and he is known to be writing a lot about Musar. Okay? That's his main kav, and he writes very interesting things. And I brought over here something small, even though it's a little bit long. We'll try to read it. We'll see how we do with the time. And let's see what he says about it. Okay, so I'm going to read it in Hebrew and then we're going to translate it. Okay, so he says like this. Mitzvot, our mitzvot have two different dimensions. Okay? Mitzvot bechinat chayim ubechinat levush. One dimension is called life, chayim, and one dimension is called levush, dressing. Okay, clothing maybe. Dressing or clothing, whatever you feel comfortable with. מצינו במצוות שנקראים חיים, כמו שנאמר בתפילה כי הם חיינו. We see in certain places that they use the word חיים for mitzvot, and that's where he learns it from. ויש בספרים הקדושים שקוראים למצוות לבושים. And in some places, in the Chassidut mainly, the mitzvot are called lebushim, clothing. Okay, so let's see how he explains. א', המקיים מצווה עם פנימיות ליבו, someone who does a mitzvah with the
intention,
with the intention, with the meaning, okay, וברגש, and with a lot of emotion, אוקיי? מקיים מצווה עם פנימיות ליבו בהרגש, במלחמת היצר ובמסירות נפש, that he's trying to להילחם ביצר הרע, אוקיי? To come over the יצר הרע, ובמסירות נפש, היא נקראת חיים. This is what's called the dimension of life in a mitzvah. When you do it with the inner intentions, with emotion, בהתלהבות, enthusiasm, passion, כוונות, with the right thoughts, okay?
Being correctly motivated.
Yeah, okay? יען שהיא מוספת בנפשו נקודה קדושה שחסרה לו מקודם. Why is it called life? Because he's creating something new within himself. He is adding another dimension in his neshama that he was missing. And I want to give you an example because it's very high what he's saying and it's something that we meet every day. And I'll dafka start with Parashat Shavua that we read Be'alotcha, when Aaron HaKohen was feeling a little bit bad that the Nesi'im get to bring this big korbanot and a big hoo-ha, a big tekes, a big happening about it. And he says, and what do? And I go every day to the menorah and I clean out the dirt and the wax, whatever's left in the menorah. And then I have to put in more oil. And then I put in the little avuka, however you say that in English.
Wick.
Thank you. Wick. And I light it. What's so special about that? It's much more special and inspiring and motivating to once a year bring such a big korban. זה לא fair. This is in my words. Of course, Aaron says it differently. And then Chazal and Moshe Rabbeinu, what do they tell him? You're right. You're going to be doing the same thing day after day. But you know what your real aim, what your real goal is when you're doing that? לחדש שמה משהו. To bring something new to life over there. To renew משהו. משהו אתה צריך לחדש. You have to make something different. You have to make something in a better way, in a new way, משהו אחר. And when we take it to our life, every day I make lunch, every day, every whatever, Thursday I do my shopping, every Friday I do my cooking, Shabbos is Shabbos. מה יש לי לחדש כבר? And over here, a lot of times we talk in marriage counseling, when even though you do the same activities day after day, time after time, this is your goal, just like Aaron HaKohen, to find how to make something new over here. איך לחדש משהו בעולם הזה. עד כדי כך, הרב דסלר, he writes, I don't think I brought it over here, שהקדוש ברוך הוא מחדש בטובו בכל יום תמיד. Every day, הקדוש ברוך הוא recreates the nature, and we're part of nature. And that's why we also have to create something new. And this is what Rav Dessler says, when even though you do the same mitzvah again and again, getting up in the morning, netilat yadayim, davening, whatever you do, try to find a new dimension in this mitzvah, לחדש משהו, להוסיף משהו לנשמה שלא היה קיים לפני.
So you need to rekindle it.
Rekindle, is that the word?
No, I was just thinking that
I don't know what rekindle means, sorry.
To relight. But to do it מחדש.
לעשות מחדש, אבל לתת לזה חיים חדשים. You have to give it a new life.
New meaning.
A new meaning.
Right.
Okay?
and that's what's very, very difficult to do day in and day out.
נכון.
Very hard.
נכון. But even though, you know, on the tefillah Shabbat, I read, I don't remember who says it, that every person, when he's going to look through the tefillah of Shabbat, he's going to find the sentence or the paragraph שהוא הכי מתחבר אליו, שהכי מדבר אליו. And if we have this in our mind, and every time that we open up the siddur, and we're going to be looking for something that is aiming right now to where I am, to what I'm feeling, to what I'm going through, to what I'm thinking, זה החידוש שלנו פה. Okay? לחפש, מה המקום שלי? What is my place? What am I connecting to today? And it doesn't mean that every day we're going to be connecting to the same phrase or the same pasuk or paragraph or whatever. Okay? Because who I am today is not who I was yesterday. So maybe yesterday was matim for me, this paragraph. Maybe today, a different paragraph, a different pasuk. And even deeper than that, maybe yesterday when I was connecting to that pasuk, I was thinking in one way. And today when I read the pasuk, I'm understanding it differently and connecting to it differently. Okay? Okay, בוא נמשיך. So this is the first meaning of the mitzvah, the first dimension, not meaning, sorry, the first dimension of the mitzvah that gives us life. Okay, connecting to the inner parts of it, the different with passion, with intention, with meaning, with renewing something, giving it a new life. This is one dimension. Okay. The second aspect, the second dimension of the mitzvah, what's called the levush. Let's read together in Seif Bet. שמקיים מצווה מפני שנתחנך בה. You know why he's doing the mitzvah? Because he was brought up on doing the mitzvot. He's used to getting up every day in the morning and doing netilat yadayim. This is what his mother taught him. Okay, I'm doing it because this is my habit. It's a good habit, but I'm doing the mitzvah out of a habit. Or even as he says, מצוות אנשים מלומדה. ובחינה זו נקראת לבוש. כי אם תחסר בה פנימיות, מכל מקום יש לה ערך חינוכי, היינו ערך של שמירה שלא ייפול מטה. He's talking about the dimension of making, of doing, of acting, of doing a mitzvah. Doesn't matter. Becky gave us before an example of the mikveh. She's going to the mikveh because this is what her mother taught her. This is what she had to do before she got married to get a petik from the rabbanut. This is what her grandmother did. So this is what she's doing. Is she connected to the inner part of the mitzvah, to the neshama of the mitzvah? No. אבל יש בזה קדושה, יש בזה חשיבה חינוכית, he says. It's important educationally for me, okay? And you know what this mitzvah gives me, he says? When you make a mitzvah just as a levush, as a clothing, just because you're used to doing it as a habit, even though you're not connected to the meaning, it gives you the dimension of shmira,
Keeping it.
Of what?
Of keeping it. Of continuing and keeping.
No.
No,
Shmira,
Shira's protection.
a protection, דיוק. Okay? The shmira gives me protection. Protection from what? From יצר הרע. Okay? Let's just read till the end of the paragraph. כי אם תחסר בפנימיות, מכל מקום יש לה ערך חינוכי. We said that it's educational, very important. היינו ערך של שמירה שלא ייפול מטה. Okay? And I'm going to skip one row. והיינו שגדר הלבוש גדר שמירה, כי המעשה עצמו יש בו קדושה. Okay? Even though you're doing the mitzvah without the meaning, it has, יש בזה קדושה. It has holiness to it. What is the holiness to it? That it protects me from יצר הרע. Okay? And now I'm not going to read it in Hebrew and explain it in English. I'm just going to explain it in English. So whoever wants to read it in Hebrew can read it afterwards. פשוט אין לנו הרבה זמן, okay? So what does it mean that the mitzvah as a levush, only as a clothing, protects us? He gives an example of when you want to hit a nail in the wall. When you want to put a nail in the wall, if you're just going to give it one bang, it's not going to go in, right? Either the nail is gonna crumble, the wall is going to crumble, or the nail is going to get crooked or something. זה לא ילך. How does it go? How does יצר הרע really get into us? Each time a little bit. You knock on the nail again and again, 4, 5, 6 times, till it's inside the wall. This is the way יצר הרע works. And what happens to us? What's so dangerous for us about being mekayem mitzvot only as a clothing and not with the life? We're doing the mitzvot, and then we tell ourselves that we're so great and we're so big, just like our famous guy from the story. For 9 years, I'm davening with a lot of kavanah, with a lot of itlavut, and my davening sounds great, right? הכל נשמע מצוין, אני עושה הרבה מצוות, I'm such a tzaddik, I'm such a chassid, and he doesn't even understand that he's missing the inner part of it. And then יצר הרע, each time, if he can't grab away our mitzvah, he grabs away. You remember one of the sipurim a few weeks ago, we spoke about the ganavim and shodadim, the thieves and the robbers. So this is, here's another, a nice way to understand it, that how does he work the Yetzer Hara? He can't take away the levush of the mitzvah, because I'm used to getting up morning after morning for whatever, 40 years, I'm doing the same thing. So it's going to be hard to take away the mitzvah as a levush. But it's very easy for him, lignov et hachayim me'amitzvah, to make me think about different things, so I'm not really connecting while I'm doing the mitzvah to the place where I'm supposed to be connected. אתם מבינות את מה שהוא אומר פה? Okay? זה מובן? He says, Yetzer Hara works just like that. Because you think that you have everything, because I do all the mitzvot, so you think you're in a very good place. But the truth is that the Yetzer Hara is robbing you of the life of the mitzvah. And he even says at the end of his paragraph, he says, Rav Desser, וזה בבחינת עבודה זרה. עד כדי כך זה גרוע, that when you do a mitzvah without being connected to the inner part, and then you tend to think yourself as a tzaddik, you don't even understand that you're working avodah zara. Why are you working avodah zara? Because you're doing the mitzvah not in order to connect. You're doing the mitzvah because of the different voices that you're hearing outside of yourself, or the voices, the not healing voices, the different voices that you're hearing within yourself of your ego, that you want to become famous, that you want people to like you, you want to be accepted, v'chule, v'chule. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So, final. Okay? So actually, if we go back to the beginning of the story, okay, we have the story of our mefulsam, of our famous person that wants to be famous. And I want to ask you a question. What do you think happens when he opens up the door after 9 years? I don't know, I couldn't find any explanation. Lama dafka teisha shanim, why dafka 9 years? Okay, 9 years is a long time. Usually the number 9 is tish'a yarchei leda. It takes us to that place of something new that's being born. אבל לא מצאתי לזה אסמכתה במקורות. So זה רק ניחוש שלי. It's just my guess, okay? But what happens to the person? What do you think can happen to the person when he opens up the door? And he actually sees reality as it is. And he's realizing that he thought that he was davening because of his Hasidim, and he sees that there weren't any Hasidim, there was only a cat. מה עובר לו בראש? מה קורה לו? What happens to him?
I would hope that he'd laugh.
I don't think he'd laugh. I think he'd be totally deflated.
What else?
Deflated, disappointed.
It's a blow to his ego.
Maybe we can say that we have here 2 different options, okay? One option that we hear is that he's going to open up the door. He's going to see that it's a cat. Maybe he's going to laugh first, but afterwards, he's going to feel like such an idiot. He's going to hold his head and he's going to say, oh my God, how stupid can I be? And here I thought that I was a big tzaddik and a big chassid, and I have a lot of chassidim that I want to just listen. And what? A cat is listening to my tefillah? All my efforts, 9 years of efforts, all my effort, where did it go for a cat? והוא יכול ממש להתרסק, he can be devastated, he can fall into a very deep pit. He can throw everything away and no more davening and no more chassidim and no more anything and just be very, very depressed, right?
Yeah.
ממש, כאילו, to disconnect totally. נכון? אפשר לחשוב על דרך אחת כזאת שיקרה?
כן.
And on the other hand, we can have a totally different story. We can offer a very nice ending to Rabbi Nachman, that he didn't write the ending. He just finished up with mocking this chassid and saying how terrible it is to do something because of other people and not because what's right for you. Before I'm going to say the other ending, I just want to remind you of something also very nice that we once spoke about, that a lot of times during the Yamim HaNoraim and Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, we do a lot of mitzvot. And all the children and the grandchildren come home from Gan with a scale of the mitzvot and averot, and that's why we have to do more mitzvot. And Rav Steinsaltz writes about it something very nice. He says, you know why you do a lot of mitzvot? Because during these days of Chazara b'tshuva, Lachzor b'tshuva is to come back to yourself, to figure out who your real inner self is, and what your inner self really wants. And halevai, that once you do Chazara b'tshuva and you come back and you are able to really be one with your inner neshama, then you'll find out that all what you want to do is mitzvot and good deeds, like giving tzedakah and crossing the lady the street and getting up in the bus for an older person, v'chule v'chule. We do the mitzvot in order to remind ourselves what our inner self really wants. Alevai, that this is what we're going to find, that שאנחנו רוצים לקיים את כל המצוות האלה. As Rabbi Nachman says, halevai that he's going to open up the door and he's going to see the cat, and maybe he'll be able to laugh at the beginning, but then halevai that he's going to close the door and continue davening just like he was davening before, with all the enthusiasm and the meaning and the intention passion וכל הדברים שדיברנו עליהם. הלוואי וזה יזכיר לו מי הוא באמת. Because if he throws away everything, so it really means that he only has one ego to be famous, and that's it. And now because that he feels that he was mocked and that he feels like such an idiot and that there's nothing to it, he's going to throw it away. זה לא טוב. הוא לא באמת מצליח להתחבר לפנימיות שלו. But הלוואי, he's going to open up the door and he's going to find that this is what he really wants. This is his davening that he really wants. נמצא שהוא התפלל לחתול, אבל באמת הוא מצא את עצמו. Rabbi Nachman ends the story saying that he found נמצא. In Hebrew it sounds very nice. In English it doesn't work so nicely. So I'm going to translate it. But the word נמצא means that he found. Okay? נמצא שהתפלל לשם חתול. He found out that he was davening because of a cat. But alevai, that nimtza, is that he found his inner self, what he really wants to be, how he really wants to pray. And I want to say in the last few minutes, okay, we still have a few more minutes, I want to say another thing, that the story begins with him davening behind the door. So maybe we can say, okay, I'm sure Rabbi Nachman would like this tosefet that we're giving over here. Maybe we can say that when he closed the door and started davening, okay, and started praying, he really wanted to lock out the different voices within himself, the different voices of the world. He locked everything out and he really wants to hear his own voice. And he really wanted to pray with a lot of devotion and passion, v'chule. Okay? But the minute that he heard the cat, the minute that he heard an outside voice, זה היטה אותו, it moved him away from his trail. Okay? He strayed off his main trail. He forgot himself for a minute. And he got lost in the different voices that he hears from the cat outside his door. זה גרם לו להתבלבל. It confused him. Maybe it even woke up the Yetzer Hara within himself. Okay? Because, why am I saying this? Because I want to remind you that in the Chassidut, every deed that we do, even if it's bad, it always has a very positive source. It starts from a very good place. Okay, בוא ניקח דוגמה, I'll give a דוגמה, an example, and then we'll come back to our story. Okay, I can give you an example for myself. Okay, let's say after Shabbat, Motzei Shabbat, the kids go, the grandchildren go, I'm left with a balagan, and I work till 12 o'clock at night, and I'm cleaning the floors and vacuuming and dusting and sweeping and washing and whatever. And I go to sleep at midnight and everything is all nice and clean. And then Sunday I leave the house beautifully nice and clean. I come back Sunday afternoon from work, and of course, mud is all over the floor, and the shoes are at the entrance of the house, and their bags, and the cup of black coffee on the shaish, and the little black pieces are all over the faucet, and whew, And it starts to build up in me, and I start screaming and yelling, you don't see me, don't you realize? Why doesn't anyone think about all the work that I put in here, and blah, 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 and I start screaming and yelling. But if you would stop me and ask me, wait, why did you clean up the house so nicely? Why did you put in so much effort to clean the house? Why do you want to clean the house? What would you answer? Each one would have an answer, probably not so far away from each other. כאילו זה בטח אותם רעיונות, אבל בוא נגיד that I would say, I want a nice clean house. It gives me רוגע, it gives me שלווה, it makes me calm. It's a good אווירה, זה עושה אווירה טובה בבית. How do you say אווירה? It's a nice environment. But what happens to the nice environment that I wanted by cleaning the house? By my yelling and screaming at the kids and making everyone feel bad just because they're kids, right? Because it's not nigdi, it's not against me, it's their kids. They're not thinking about the clean environment that I want, right? But when I start yelling and screaming, I am missing the point because I was cleaning in order to have a nice avira, a nice environment in the house. My screaming is blackening the environment. My screaming is making a bad environment. So בואי תחליטי מה את רוצה. If you want a good environment, don't scream and yell. אז הנה דוגמה that התחיל ממקום מאוד טוב. אני רוצה אווירה נעימה בבית. I want it to be nice and everything should be in place and whoever is looking for a game and for a cup, whatever, he can find everything nice and clean and in place. כדי שיהיה נעים לכולנו. אבל מרוב שאני כל כך רוצה שיהיה נקי, אני כבר צועקת. אז מה עשיתי? Do you understand? Okay. We can find, even I can give you a much more extreme example of people that even that are כאילו אנסים, that rape. Okay. הפעולה התחלתית is someone that wanted to give something to the world. He wanted to give the girl something, right? The פעולה of to rape is to give. אבל he's not giving in the right place to the right person. הוא כופה עליה את הנתינה שלה. He's forcing himself on her. He's forcing his givingness on her. And it's really started out in the right place. It's a good thing to give, but it has to be in the right place, with the right person, when she wants it. גם העבירות, גם החטאים הכי חמורים שלנו מתחילים במקום טוב. We see also another example in the Torah of Pinchas, שהוא מקנא להשם. It started out in a very good place. He's looking after Hashem's name. He doesn't want there to be chilul Hashem. He wants shalom. But he ended up killing. Okay? זה התחיל במקום שהוא מאוד נכון. אבל עובדה שאנחנו לא עושים את זה היום. כלומר, every bad thing, every bad place that we end up, we should always look backwards and say, we started off in a good way. This had a good source to it. Let's go back to the source and let's see where we strayed off the way. איפה הלכנו לאיבוד? Where did we get confused? Where did we lose ourselves? Where did I not listen to my healing voice? איפה לא שמעתי את עצמי? איפה לא הייתי מחוברת לעצמי? Okay? As maybe we can also say that our מפורסם, our famous person from the story, he also started off in a good place. He closed the door, he shut himself out of the different voices of the world, and he just wanted to concentrate on his tefillah. אבל משהו קרה בדרך, he heard the cats. He heard the cats. And instead of learning tzniut from the cat and learning that he doesn't have to make himself big in order to feel secured, he went the way wherever he went. So Be'ezrat Hashem, he should open up the door, and this should remind him when he sees the reality that this is the place where he really wants to be. As June, did you want to say something?
I was just going to say, but curiously, he's not davening in a minyan or in Beit Knesset. He's davening at home alone. And I think there's something there too to think about.
נכון. If you mentioned that, I want to say something short about that, okay? A lot of times we hear, and I remember a phase that I really felt it, that if I stay home on Shabbat and I daven over here by myself, I can really get much more connected to the davening, to the meaning. I have time to think about it. When I go to shul, they're running so fast in the davening, I can barely keep up. And then at the end of the davening, I say to myself, what is this? It was so hard for me to connect. I don't know if I was connected, if I was really with the meaning, looking for my psukim. ברור שבבית הרבה יותר קל לי. אבל there's a very, very important aspect or dimension maybe dimension is the better word, that when you daven in a minyan and you're part of something big, זה ההזדמנות שלך ליהנות מהגודל. When you're connected to the rest of the תפילות of עם ישראל, maybe even your tefillah is not going to be as thoughtful as the tefillah at home, right? But being connected to everyone around you, זה בדיוק שומר אותנו, okay? It protects us from falling to the ego of being famous, like our tzaddik.
No, because he could think that people are watching him.
But he's not connected to them, right? He's not in a shul with other people. When you're in a shul and with other people, sometimes I feel that people don't like it when the men can see the women davening, and if they're whatever, if they're crying or if they want to ממש להתרכז and close their eyes, sometimes זה נורא לא נעים להם. וזה גורם להם להיות במקום אחר בתפילה. It causes them to be in a different place. And sometimes when you're in the middle of the tefillah and everyone's around you, it doesn't let you stray off. You have to continue with everyone else because you're a part of the crowd. He wasn't a part of the crowd in the positive way, I want to say. כאילו, זה לא הגן עליו, it didn't protect him. That's why maybe he strayed off and he heard the cat and that's it, he lost it. The tefillah במניין, לא סתם חז"ל אומרים לנו that you should do the best that you can to get to shul, even with the mechir that sometimes you have to skip the pirkei, the zimra and things like that in the tefillah in order to be a part of everyone. כי עצם זה that you're a part of everyone, it protects you, it has something there for you.
Right.
נכון? אז זה ממש שינה לי את התפיסה, because I used to tell Rafi, I said, you go to shul, you go to Ashkenaz, you run their marathon in davening. I can't keep up. This is my time to daven. But after I learned about it a lot, I decided that it's a mistake, that it's not right. During the week, I don't go to minyan. I have time to stall on my tefillah as much as I want. On Shabbat, I'm going to go and be a part of it. אז יש בזה הרבה protection. That's a Hebrew word, by the way, protection.
Protection.
Yeah. אז בעזרת השם, שנזכה to hear our healing voice, to enforce it, to listen to it, to go with it, to keep out different voices that cause us to stray off our way, to be able to renew something in our davening, in our everyday, day-to-day activities, לחדש משהו that was missing before. And don't forget that also if you do a mitzvah and it doesn't have its chayim to it, it's still, זה מעשה קדוש, it still has its protection for us, which is very valuable to us. Okay? It protects us. כל אחת עם המקום שבו היא נמצאת, she can take something from what we learned today and proceed with it הלאה. בעזרת השם.
Thank
So
you.
it was great meeting you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
See you next week.
בעזרת השם next week.
Next week.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, bye-bye.
Right.
Bye. Have a good week.